And actually, you know what? When I first came in, there was that, like, scientist down there. Is that Saint Germain? I want to go look down there real quick. And, yeah, Herbert. Wasn't Herbert his first name? It was Herbert Saint Germain, right? I think it was. I think this is the guy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dustin Duran, and welcome back to Peril on Gorgon. So we finished up at HIA. And now we're going to head over to the chem lab. And some people were talking about that they're testing some stuff on primals. So I'm going to guess that it's going to be full of primals. There's definitely primals that, like, outside the chem lab and outside where the trash was, where the chem lab like disposal area was. So we'll probably figure out why they're experimenting on primals. And two, the mysterious figure, Olivia, probably, said they're going to have to get rid of us. So at some point, I think we're going to run into, I don't know, a giant robot, perhaps, which could be fun. So let's get into it.
Ooh, this is so exciting. I never seen a voice lock in action before.
Let's hope Jasper's pharmaceutical special blend hasn't affected his voice enough to keep it from opening the door.
Huh. Okay, so I fast traveled over here and all the primals are back. Yeah, let's just go kill them real quick. Hello? You gonna get them? Oh, they... That guy didn't notice me, huh?
Those aren't working!
Whoa. Yeah, why isn't it working? There you go.
Everyone all right?
Ooh. And down he goes. Yeah, stay out of the green mist. Okay. Now, let's unlock this.
This facility is currently experiencing a heightened security event. Accessing this facility requires voice-modulated passphrase. Please speak the passphrase.
I could sing the Spacer's Choice song. All right, let's play Dr. Lowe's audio recording.
We attest to the zest with our hand on our chest. Be impressed as our guest by what we've finessed. You are blessed to ingest what we thoroughly test. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice.
Passphrase accepted. Access granted. Welcome.
That's a fun password.
Dr. Jasper Lowe.
Thank you. Let's go. Actually, that does bring up some questions, though. If this place is actually locked down, how did the primals get out? Like, however they got out, shouldn't that be how I could get in? Oh. And a Phineas poster is up here. God, how long ago did they abandon this place? I also can't remember how long ago Phineas was...
Almost hard to believe something so awful as Adrena time came from a place that looks so... normal. Normal aside from the bodies, I mean. And the blood. Oh, so much blood.
Parvati is just too innocent. But yeah, I was saying, I don't remember either how long Phineas was being searched for either. All right, and the first terminal. Huang Si. Urgent notification. This urgent notification brought to you by the Spacer's Choice Automated Subversive Behavior Notification System. Please be informed that one or more of the following high priority conditions are likely to be active in your office or workplace. Escape primals. Unlawful discussion of subversive cultural material, extended or unauthorized breaks. These are all basically on the same level. Definitely. Please notify your supervisor immediately. If you are the designated supervisor of this workplace, this message constitutes your official notification. This is an automated response. Please do not respond directly to this message. And regular messages. Forward to Jasper, subject corrective measures. Jasper, I've been taking your messages at my terminal like you asked. This one's from management though. Please take a look at this. I could get in trouble for deleting it. Dr. Lowe, I speak for everyone at the OCI when I express my disappointment in your work ethic. The quality of Compound X harvested and enriched at your laboratory falls well below Spacer's Choice standards. It is my professional opinion that the quality of one's work reflects the quality of one's spirit. Lazy workers deliver lazy work. Round up your researchers, fire 1 in 10. I expect you and your remaining researchers to deliver the next batch of chemicals to HIA under an accelerated timetable. These measures may seem punitive, even harsh. They are. I am instilling discipline in your team. One day I'd like to imagine you'll thank me. Respectfully, Lawrence Goodfellow. Work fortifies the spirit, of course. Okay. To Jasper Lowe, please respond. This is from Huang. Jasper, I know you told me not to bother you when you're working, but I'm running out of options. I understand you're busy, so I boiled down my list of concerns into simple yes/no questions. Just respond with Y or N. Did you read Goodfellow's letter? Am I on the chopping block? Has security talked to you about some type of corporate spy in our ranks? Is there a spy? Did you know Padilla's heart gave out after a 72-hour shift? Are you attending the wake? I've got staff coming to the receptionist desk looking for answers. What am I supposed to tell them? It's not the best choice. It's the only choice we've got. Are you going to respond? From Jasper Lowe. All right. N. Okay. Respectfully, Jasper Lowe. All right. To Tanaka. Lost keys. Chief, I found a key in a locker by the lavatories. The key belongs to Dr. Lowe. Please retrieve the key and return it to him. I do it myself, but Dr. Lowe can be pretty paranoid. If I show up at his door with a key in hand, he'll assume I stole it in order to fabricate a reason to check up on him. So probably there's a key in a locker in the bathrooms. Hopefully the bathrooms are clean. And a quick look at the map. Yeah, we're on the top floor. So it looks like we can't go down that way or take the elevator. Let's see if we can get into the door first. And if not, we'll take the elevator.
What is it about leave that eludes that tiny little mind of yours? I've switched on the laboratory's security system. I trust the mechanicals will sort you out. Good luck.
Now hold on. I thought this place was supposed to be abandoned.
Must be our shadowy nemesis from the OCI.
Yeah, you didn't, you couldn't figure that out? And, alright. There's a mechanical. This whole thing is built into the mountain, which, I guess obviously, since you kind of tell from the outside. Guess first off, let's get rid of these mechanicals.
Oh. Fate shines on us today.
Okay. Well, I missed, but they didn't. Hey, buddy.
We've got a fight on our hands.
And I guess this will be the first place we go into, the main lab. I hear you.
We've got a fight on our hands. Don't mess with us.
And I hear a phonograph. Sounds like it's in that room. But before we go in there, let's check out this terminal. For the main laboratory, yes. Messages. To Lowe, can we please? Dr. Lowe, I think I speak for all my colleagues in the laboratory when I say I'm worried about the OCI's treatment of our facilities. I can understand dismissing 10% of our staff as a punitive measure. I can understand cutting our deadlines in half in order to motivate us. But, and forgive me, Dr. Lowe, but I can't understand demanding that we send human inquiry our untested compounds. Many of these compounds aren't tested because we know they're failures. Increasing production means proportionately decreasing quality of enrichment, which means lower compatibility with human metabolism, which means higher rate and intensity of dangerous and potentially lethal side effects. Compound X is a highly complicated formula harvested from the waste of xenocytes. It's complicated because, unlike over 50% of Spacer's Choice nutritional catalog, the compound was not designed for human consumption. If the good people at OCI understand the complexity of the compound we're dealing with, there's a chance they'll give us the time and resources we need. We just need to get them to understand this is a problem of miscommunication, Jasper. Just let me go up there and give them a presentation. I'll use markers and everything. What do you think? Can we do this? From Low, Dr. Pahlavi. The OCI are comprised by a gaggle of carrion feeders. You go up there with your markers and your charts and your diagrams, and they'll chew the flesh off your bones and then charge me for the meal. It is absolutely critical that I finish my research in peace and as soon as possible without interference from the OCI. So in answer to your question, no, we fucking can't. Best, just below. So that, again, that's probably part of the reason that Adrena time is so terrible, because they rushed it. And work fortifies the spirit from Team Meadows. Today received our updated timetable from management, courtesy of Mr. Goodfellow. 6-week deadlines are now 3-week deadlines. Some of my colleagues have been sacrificing sleep in order to meet these deadlines. Others have been medicating themselves with very small doses of enriched compound X in order to combat the fatigue. Work fortifies the spirit, so we will carry on. I count myself fortunate to have been spared in the decimation. My former colleagues have nowhere to go. The departure corresponded with a few critical doses of enriched compound X disappearing from our storage. Correlation does not imply causation, so I will not imply theft. I'm concerned by the side effects of Compound X, even if its refined state, repeated use, damages the synaptic patterns of the brain. Paranoia, violence, psychosis, and intense anxiety will haunt a repeated user for the rest of their short lives. Our enrichment process does not combat the side effects of Compound X. We were close to a breakthrough, but the damage to our research terminals is irreversible. My hope is that Human Inquiry will see the efforts of this compound in their own tests and report these tests to Creative Incubation. If Incubation is as chilled by these results as I am, they may provide us with more time and more resources. Nope. That plan didn't work out. Subject, unplanned sabotage event. From B. Gauthier. Moment of silence for my recent batch of enriched compound X. The elegant complexity of our molecular structure manifested in the hallucination of my own sleep-deprived mind. 30% lower rate of addiction, 75% compatible with human metabolism, and with a side effect coefficient of just 0.65, you are our most promising compound yet. Human Inquiry would have been delighted to pour you into a syringe and stick you inside a test subject. You were destroyed in an unplanned sabotage event, which is to say that Mr. Mosley's fancy tables couldn't predict this would happen. You are almost perfect. Our lab will never see the likes of you again. Compound X is notoriously difficult to enrich. Its molecular structure is fussy. In small doses, the compound provides a massive boost to energy and productivity. The clever buggers at OCI do not seem to understand the principle and have asked us to increase our dosage with every batch. High dosage Compound X is even harder to enrich, and a poorly enriched, poverty-stricken chemical has none of the protective layers that inhabit dangerous side effects. So what we have is a cocktail of very bad side effects chased down with one massive rush of euphoric energy. Pleasant, but incredibly dangerous. I can only hope HIA's reports agree with my assessment. Yeah, they didn't. Also, a sabotage event, huh? What happened there? And another terminal over here. Critical error, damage to data storage detected, memory malfunction detected, unable to retrieve data. Welcome, G Zhang. Okay, let's run diagnostics. Error, research, formula samples. Okay. Nothing really found. Research data. More errors. Staff personal entry. Okay, last entry. To whom it may concern, this morning I and my colleagues gathered in the reception hall. Every 10th staff member at this laboratory was released from service. I am one of them. My indenturement contract to Spacer's Choice, which stipulates a lifetime of productive service as a researcher in the field of organic chemistry, has been terminated. I have served Spacer Choice for most of my life. Working at the Gorgon facility is the highlight of my career. If I leave Gorgon, I will have nowhere else to go because my contract guaranteed my work for the duration of my life. To end that contract is tantamount to ending my life. If you have the power to reconsider your decision, I ask you kindly to reconsider. I am willing to work without pay if necessary. Wow. This job is all I have. Please allow me to fortify my spirit by continuing to work. Zang. Messages. Too low. Research notes. I'm afraid I don't know where your research notes are. I searched materials processing and discreetly asked the receptionist, but nothing turned up. If I had to guess, you left them in the basement laboratory. I'd venture down there myself, but you know how I feel about primals. I apologize for the weakness of my constitution. Sir, if your research notes do not turn up in the basement, may I ask you to think favorably on me when OCI asks you for a budget review? Word around the lab is that Goodfellow and the other leaders at the OCI want to make some deep cuts in our staff. If there's any truth to this rumor, I hope you'll remember that I've always supported your desire to find a better, safer version of AT. Respectfully, Zhang. Well, I guess that didn't work out. And also, this is kind of making me think, and maybe it was that guy, maybe it's Zhang, but maybe one of the employees that got fired was the one that sabotaged the place. And
Roscoe, it's Georgie. If you're hearing this, you must still be holed up at the Sprat Shack, and you're not gonna like this one bit. I was trying to steal our recordings when things went crazy. I know. Like I said, sorry. And I'm gonna be in a heap of trouble if I don't get them, so if you want to save my bacon, you need to do it for me. I need the 3 interviews we did with Ambrose, this one here, plus another recording of my own. I left that last one with a guy who owed me a favor at the garbage processing office in the chemical waste ravine. I'll leave an automech near Stellar Freighting. It'll want all 5 recordings, plus a passphrase. Glacial Age. Oh, and don't listen to my log, all right? Just stay safe and keep your head down.
okay, so this guy was doing it for her. So what was it? Yeah, his name was Roscoe. So I'm gonna guess that this was a lie. He doesn't have an employment contract. Okay, so there's basically 2 possibilities going on here. I think both of them include Roscoe lying. I don't think he has an employment contract, but maybe he does. Either way, he wants the phonographs, and maybe he's like betrayed Georgie, or maybe he doesn't like Georgie anymore, or something. Something's going on where he just wants to get those phonographs and get out of here. Or is that, yes, he still lied about this, and he is sticking around because Georgie asked him to do this stuff. I mean, I could go back to Roscoe just to talk to him and maybe not give him those phonographs. Maybe I can just ask him about what's going on. Oh, and she wanted me to pick up this one. She hid a phonograph in a locker in the garbage processing office. What phonograph was that? Oh, so it must have been this one, this follow-up interview. Oh, and this is making more sense. Okay, I wasn't connecting the dots before, but okay. So this makes sense. So she was a spy, Georgie, and I'm suspecting that Roscoe does not know this. But then who does Georgie work for? Oh, you know what? So this is my guess. Georgie is working for SubLight because they mentioned the Groundbreaker. And Roscoe is actually a journalist. And I'm gonna guess that Roscoe does not know Georgie is a spy. But then that might actually change my decision. I might just give these to Roscoe instead of putting him in that auto mech. I'll have to think about that. But anyways, so we'll check out this building here.
Not very sanitary anymore, if it ever was.
Oh, and is this the bathroom? And I hear another phonograph. Jasper's storage key. Right on. And yeah, that's disappointing. Your bathrooms are quite disgusting. Oh, and this guy's just over here getting drunk in the bathroom. And
How the devil do I use this thing? Is it what? Oh, the barrel's turning. All right. I feel like an absolute idiot barking into this horn. I shouldn't have let Lucien talk me into this. What use do I have with audible notes? Posterity my ass. Ah, great fucking law. What's it doing now? Jasper! Jasper, it's... How do I turn it off? It won't.
Just press the button.
The what?
Oh, for law's sake, the button, Ollie.
Accursed thing.
wow, all right. Well, she obviously got better at it because I picked up other ones that she's recorded into that seemed fine. This sounds lovely. You know what? So that's an interesting question. Flies appear on other planets? Did they bring flies? I would like to know the science behind that, if any. Okay, and I did want to check that vending machine, but nothing really interesting in there. And then, where do I want to go? So, we got this thing, but,
I'll keep quiet.
yeah, we should just... Yeah. That's, not a very good trap you got there. Oh. Are they actually... Oh, smart. That's a good job, crouching under that. I expected them to just run into it. I hear another robot. I also hear another phonograph.
Here we go.
Don't mess with us!
Alright, what is this terminal? Material processing. S. Dunlop. Critical update. This is an automated message triggered by the Spacer's Choice Contingency Management Program. Please do not respond to this message. Congratulations. Contingency number 771, abundance of raw material, is now in effect. Due to a higher than projected volume of Compound X harvested in this laboratory, your production quotas have been raised by 200%. Oh, nice. Please bear in mind that bi-weekly quota reviews are automatically generated and forwarded to Project Gorgon Administration and the Office of Creative Incubation. Any dereliction in production will be reflected in your review. You know, that is kind of how it works in the real life, too. If you excel and you do better than expected, then that becomes the new normal. All right, experimental notes. Errors. Okay. One remaining log. Okay, last entry. Experimental enrichment of Compound X. Okay. Expose Compound X sample to N-ray concentrate for 30 seconds. Okay, so they're testing it on N-rays. Researchers' addendum. Unplanned sabotage event destroyed any relevant research notes. Forced to rely on outdated notes. Expected time lost 6 to 16 months. Oh. Attempt to replicate research unsuccessful. Will try again after resting eyes for a minute. So my guess, the sabotage was either some disgruntled employee or, again, Olivia. Would not be surprised if Olivia just sabotaged this whole place. Shut the whole place down, forced everyone out, and then tried to keep anyone else from coming here, including her daughter. Alright, another phonograph.
The effects of Compound X are inescapable. The refined excrement of the xenocyte life form. It's a fine powder, very fine. It finds its way into absolutely everything. Even in the water now, and the air. It settles like a veil over all of Gorgon. The laboratory techs get the worst of it. We all appreciated the boost to mood and productivity at first, but we're at each other's throats in an instant now. I've had to break up 2 fistfights this week alone. This aggression must be inherent to the formula, to Compound X. How do I stop it?
Sabotage the facility and shut it all down? Actually, let me just check this door. I wonder if I can even get in. I can. Okay. Or I guess the other option is if you couldn't find that key for whatever reason, you could just go around. I'm gonna go around anyways, but let's do it. Let's go through here first. Oh, and I see mines.
Careful. Seems like they had a surplus of traps they decided to get rid of all in one place.
I see that. I don't see, though, where I could turn that off at. I could just jump over it. You guys gonna jump? Oh! Ah! I'm actually quite surprised they're doing so well. And is that it? Oh, and it was right there. That's where it was. I feel like there might be more mines sitting in here somewhere. So, okay, this is kind of interesting. I thought I would get this up to 41 because it is way too expensive to keep increasing the level of this. So I thought I would get this up to 41 and put some mods into it. But this is doing 1325. But if I put this back on, this is doing 5227. Is it really that much better? Like maybe the corrosive damage, I'm gonna guess it's because of the corrosive damage. And I suppose the rate of fire as well. But man, okay. Never mind. I wonder if it's better for Parvati. 1318. No. I mean, that still does a ton of damage. 79. Yeah, the machine guns are just super good. Specifically on companions. Okay, I'll leave it be then. And what do we got going on down here? Oh, and wow, I almost fell down this hole. All right, what's on the terminal? Lab security office status. Access restricted. Administrator's notice. All password protection has been disabled by order of Lawrence Goodfellow. Privacy is a privilege and must be earned. Lift access restrictions. Administrator's notice. Operating a security terminal is a privilege restricted to Space Destroy site safety engineers. Any authorized personnel operating a security terminal will receive an immediate reprimand. Whoops. Hack. Disable automechanical hostility protocol. Sure. Automechanical status. They are disabled. Yes. Messages. Alright, to Jasper, please explain. I'm going to have to take the researcher's side on this one. Your absence during an emergency is conspicuous. I don't want to report you because I don't want corporate auditors scheduling interviews with the entire staff while they're trying to meet deadline. The unplanned sabotage event already halted experimentation and development. We're trying to get our operations running again, and we could use all the help we can get. I'm already down one staff member. St. Germain's gone. You know why. You owe this team an explanation to any number of grievances. Your absence is the most urgent one. But I'll take an explanation as to why there are primals being held in the caverns near our waste disposal site. They're your primals, aren't they? Oh, and he actually responded. From Jasper. Mr. Tanaka, no, I can't explain the primals. Primals defy explanation. They're a miracle of evolutionary adaptation and a treasure trove of interesting genetic material. I'm not going to explain my alleged absence either. This is because I am not absent at all. My presence is implicit in the work of my researchers. The researchers still employed in this department are skilled and more than capable of repairing any damage done by the alleged saboteur. Please don't bother me again with trivial problems. You are the security chief. Stick to securing things, including, but not limited to, the safety of the lab and my privacy. Warm regards and pleasant felicitations. Too low resignation. I've just finished filing my official report on the unplanned sabotage event. Unfortunately, filing a report on a sabotage event requires me to also include a list of captured, apprehended, and neutralized saboteurs. Company policy. No list means I'm getting arrested for dereliction of duty and you're getting penalized for hiring me. Saboteurs is plural. I can't include Mr. St. Germain's name and be done with it. As a last resort, I have been forced to include the names of all former employees whose contracts were recently terminated in the decimation. These researchers are no longer part of the Project Gorgon and will likely not survive without a job, so I may as well use their names to save our jobs. I filed my report last night and haven't been able to sleep since. This is to let you know that I will be filing for transfer at the end of the next cycle. So it was not previous employee, well, probably not. And Lowe might have had something to do with it? Hard to tell, though. Alright, we might as well use this elevator. And then I'll backtrack a little bit just to see what I missed. Hello? Awfully quiet.
Unexpected.
Hey! Didn't I turn off...
Now
Didn't I turn off the auto mechanicals?
You're just that good.
And I hear something. I hear something eating. weird. There's auto mechanicals down here, but something is...
You're a deft hand with a magpick.
Something is alive and eating? Oh. Primals. God, I am hearing all sorts of weird sounds. And you know what? That might not...
Security patrol initiated.
Hi.
Captain, look out!
Got him!
Everybody okay? Great.
And now I'm thinking those weren't eating sounds. That's like the sounds of the cavern crumbling a little bit. Which is weird how they sound so similar. More drones. Still don't see the primals. There must be primals in there. I think that's Jasper's office.
I wonder if this is where Lo was when his mind was pushed to its breaking point.
And probably. Okay, as I'm looking at the map, there is a section below. So, okay. So that's his lab. It can then go down, and then there's a section down here. So he must have been keeping primals down there. But let's quick backtrack here. I just want to see what I missed. And there's dead primals and drones. I'm willing to bet, yes, there are live primals in here. Hey, buddies.
Pass that armor!
Woo, light them up. Oh, that's a big boy.
We make quite a team, my friend.
Yeah. They got lit up. And there was absolutely nothing in the big guy. Wow, just the sound of that. That does not sound right. Oh, a lot of bones. Guess that's where they're coming from. Primals.
Primals, too? They wanted to make sure they made all the bad decisions, didn't they?
Yes.
That's the last of them.
Alright, now let's go into the head chemists. And I guess we'll hit the phonograph
Night
first.
falls on Gorgon. Though I suppose it's always dark here in the void. The lab is empty, and I am at last alone.
Oh.
I'm preoccupied with thoughts of the single-celled xenocytes that make their home here on this rock. These primordial creatures persist despite the hostility of their surroundings. No, they require adversity to thrive.
You're remarkably
Perhaps that's why
intent
our
on
bodies-
settling my every plan to end you. How inconsiderate. Especially after I've gone to so much effort to see Gorgon rest in peace. It's a good thing, then, that I finally figured out what you're after. I'll see you soon, little weasel.
Is it just me, or does it seem like our mysterious nemesis watches too many Aetherwave serials?
This is sick. I can't bear it any longer.
Parvati, come on, pull yourself together. And yeah, I had to stop that because, yeah, I didn't want them talking over each other.
These primordial creatures persist despite the hostility of their surroundings. No, they require adversity to thrive. Perhaps that's why our bodies react to theirs. There is a harmony in us. The law didn't craft us for the void, yet we scrabble across its cold worlds, building, persisting, as the xenocytes do. We live. Against all odds, we live. But for how long?
And yes, too, as she's saying, she's the only one left. Again, that points her as the mysterious stranger. And let's get on this last terminal. Admin functions. Override synthesis and manufactory center lockdown. Synthesis and manufactory center lockdown. Override sent. And the status. Alert! Executive lockdown has been overridden. Excellent. Turn to admin functions. Okay, nothing else. Messages. Incoming first from Olivia. A lot from it. Olivia, all right. Updated security practices. High priority. Pursuant to last week's incident, new security practices are now in effect. All lab personnel must tidy their workstations at the end of their shift, close and lock all drawers, safes, closets, vents, and lab doors before leaving for the day. All visitors must be accompanied. Furthermore, any laboratory tech accompanying a guest who has not received certification in either self-defense or hand-to-hand combat must also be accompanied by a member of the security team. All confidential information must remain as such. Do not discuss the nature of your work outside or inside the lab, except to warn peers of imminent danger, such as fire, chemical spill, or suspected corporate espionage. All laboratory techs are to isolate themselves until further notice. Any laboratory tech found fraternizing in groups of 2 or more, or found speaking with the same person more than once, will be reprimanded to Spacer's Choice Human Resources Re-Education and Reallocation Department. Finally, unless you are actually physically sitting in an interview session pre-approved by me, do not speak to the fucking journalists. Well, you did. Well, except you were... maybe. So maybe Georgie was the one that sabotaged everything. SubLight, possibly, was the saboteur? Because now this sounds like it was not Olivia who sabotaged. Alright, AT concerns. Jasper, I dug into the volunteer data Marion sent over. You were right. The current formulation is resulting in alarming outcomes, even by SC standards. Priyantha and I performed a handful of autopsies on this week's deceased and made a few notable observations. In one case, that a young man in his early 20s, we noted a degree of gray matter loss one would expect to see in a man of 70. His brain had also atrophied to a shocking extent, again as one might expect in a much older man. In another case, that of a woman in middle age, the subject was no longer able to achieve natural sleep. After 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, she was no longer able to distinguish her violent hallucinations from reality. Yet even as she spiraled, she demanded additional injections. I was sure our last tweak would reduce the incidence of violence among the volunteer population. We might attempt to further refine the compound through partitioning, though I'm doubtful that will be efficacious. Violence aside, I'm growing increasingly concerned by the habit-forming nature of the compound. What do you think? Also from Ambrose, monthly physicals. The material we work with are dangerous and result in permanent injury, disfigurement, or madness when handled for extended periods. Therefore, all laboratory personnel will now report to the project physician, Dr. Priyantha LeBlanc, for monthly physicals and psychiatric evaluations. I do this out of an abundance of caution. Schedule your first appointment immediately and notify me when you do. I have access to your medical records, so I will know when you shirk. Do not make me drag you to his office myself. Alright, outgoing. One to Ambrose about the AT concerns. These days I try to think as little as possible. Thinking is a dreadful habit, which leads to self-awareness, which leads to resignation. It's true that the current formulation is resulting in alarming outcomes, but not, I think, by SC standards. SC standards are low. You report 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, and SC sees 11 consecutive days of productivity. You report an inability to distinguish violent hallucinations from reality. SC is going to try to push us to turn those hallucinations into phantom images of company logos. You say the compound is habit-forming, and SC is going to see an increase in demand for our never-ending supply of xenocyte waste. To be serious, yes, the compound is absolutely habit-forming. Addiction correlates with dosage, and dosage size is inversely proportional to enrichment quality. Long as corporate asks us to keep our dosage minimal and controlled, there's a reasonable chance we can improve the enrichment process to filter out some of the dangerous side effects. That's going to take time, a lot more time than corporate realizes. Yeah, these people, I mean, they seem kind of sane. I mean, I guess they're realists, at least. Archive message from Olivia about employee termination. Herbert St. Germain. Yeah, yes, this guy. Effective immediately, Herbert St. Germain is no longer an employee of Spacer's Choice PR&D division. His body has been forwarded to the chemical waste dump for processing. Mr. Saint Germain was a saboteur sent by a rival firm to disrupt our vital efforts. Okay. It's only thanks to the swift reporting of one of your esteemed colleagues that Mr. Saint Germain was prevented from causing any significant damage to our facilities, intellectual property, or staff. I understand that Mr. Saint Germain was popular around the Gorgon campus for his genial and helpful demeanor. That is because he was a spy. If you encounter any similarly friendly staff, alert a member of the security team immediately. We are shifting all of Mr. Saint Germain's remaining tasks to other laboratory technicians. Finally, anyone caught visiting his grave or discussing his departure will be remanded to Spacer's Choice Human Resource Re-Education and Reallocation Department. Huh. I want to find his grave now. Did I see his grave? Alright.
Since we've been traveling together, we've visited a lot of places that set my teeth on edge. This here makes my skin crawl.
I dare say it seems like the inmates were running the asylum here.
Yeah, about what I'd expect from a Spacer's Choice operation.
Some of their folks ain't entirely bad.
No.
They've made Edgewater's walls strong and kept our water running. But mucking about with our biology, our bodies, it's wrong.
This whole project wrought mental destruction on everyone involved, including themselves. All brought to you by Spacer's Choice's best and brightest.
They were kind of pushed to do the impossible by people who weren't accountable.
That might have been enough for me back in Edgewater, but after all we've seen of Halcyon, Captain, someone should have said no.
Minnie thinks her family has a bad name now. It's nothing compared to how it will be if she compounds on her mother's failures.
Yes, I want to see what else this investigation digs up. And two, let's get the journal before we jump to conclusions here. We still don't know everything. Yeah, Jasper's story. Let's go say hi to the primals that he's keeping down in his storage area.
I'd have hoped a smart fellow like Mr. Lowe would know better than to test his super drug on primals.
Yeah, get him?
Not even scratch.
And we have Aqua Regia and Jasper Lowe's research notes. Initial research into primal neurochemistry has proven fruitful. I've discovered a cardiac cell receptor for adrenaline, analogous to human cell receptors in function, if not in physiology. It should be possible to develop a pharmaceutical drug that blocks the effects of the adrenaline hormone in primals, thus curtailing their paranoia, agitation, and violent irritability. Correction, it is possible, just unlikely given the way OCI has me under thumbscrews. Adrenatime is a dangerous drug. The danger can be mitigated by developing an adrenaline inhibitor. Take adrenatime, then take this theoretical drug to minimize its side effects. Barely have the time, energy, or resources to develop a half-passable adrenatime, so this idea must remain a dream. Nonetheless, my notes follow. Hope springs eternal. Well. Is that then... Okay, so maybe this makes more sense. He brought in primals. He caged them in his... whatever, his lab, and then they forcefully broke out and started digging tunnels around. That's how they got out. All right. Makes sense. And what is this weapon? Putrefaction by swinging action. It's a level 30. It's pretty good. Attacks with this weapon have a chance to inflict weakened. I don't remember what weakened does. I mean, it's good. I mean, corrosion's good. I mean, attack speed is good. So I suppose, yeah, good melee weapon if you're a melee build. Now this is it. I guess we're done in here. I think there's one little. Now there's this last little area.
Gonna be a relief to see the stars again. This cave's making me all jumpy.
Yeah, nothing in here, so... Back outside, and there's more primals, it sounds like. And actually, you know what? When I first came in, there was that, like, scientist down there. Is that Saint Germain? I want to go look down there real quick. And, yeah, Herbert. Wasn't Herbert his first name? It was Herbert Saint Germain, right? I think it was. I think this is the guy. But there is nothing on him. Which is kind of a bummer. Like, why? Again, there's no, like, special weapon over here. No special armor. No, like, special note. He doesn't even have a note on him or anything. That feels a little anticlimactic. And okay, before I go turn into Roscoe, or turn into the robot, I'm going to end it here. We'll leave that side quest for the next episode. And 2, the next episode might be the finale, maybe? Because I got that synthesis building opened up. So probably first up, I'll hit that side quest, and then I'll get into that synthesis facility, and that might be the end. I guess depending on how big that facility is. But either way, if it's 1 or 2 episodes left, we're reaching the finale here. But until the next episode, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, and or subscribe. Semper Fi, and stay free.